government operations regulations. No one has signed up for public hearing. We've got 2 items on the agenda, but I want to leave one off, so we may as well just go through both of them. We'll start out with item 1, RS 2024-862. The Exempts Turkey Ice House LLC located at 800 Meridian Street, minimum distance requirements to obtain a beer permit pursuant to section 7.08.090 East and
I'll move it. Second.
properly moved, properly second. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I want to know what this is about. I can read. I know what it says. Now, what's the exemption based on?
Distance.
So,
Well, no, I understand. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
so
I understand.
Anna, let me look this up on the map to see what the likely reason it needs an exemption. But this is there is a requirement in the Metro Code that if you have a if you're seeking a beer permit and you're located within 100 feet of certain, single-family residences, single or two-family residences, churches, playgrounds, that type of thing, schools, parks, you have to get a waiver in order to get a beer permit. And let's see what it looks like this is located near homes, residences. It's at the corner of Meridian Street and Hancock Street in District 5.
And that's why I wanted to pull it to see if there's anybody from the public or anybody out there that wanted to speak or say anything about it, and it doesn't appear that there's any opposition of it, so.
And they will also have a public hearing tonight, so you will hear at the meeting potentially other speakers.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion?
I do. I have a question, Ms. Hill. So, these things are put in place, these ordinances and statutes and everything are put in place, especially when you talk about distance from the public, from schools and everything, I guess to protect that area. Is that right? From I guess, maybe people getting drunk or people being around alcohol, having kids exposed. Are those the reasons, like, am I wrong?
Like you wouldn't want a bar, you wouldn't want necessarily a bar like across the street from an elementary school or something, and things like that.
So when somebody says we want to exempt this particular bar or whatever from the rules, don't we need to know, like, why, or do we just, is this just something go on, please.
I think Councilman Parker can probably speak to that when the bill comes up tonight. And often it's a matter of there's already kind of a commercial area around the location. I can't remember, but there's a barbecue place, I think on Meridian, for instance, that was popular for years.
In some situations, there's already something across the street next door, and that's why they're seeking for an exemption, but they still, even though there's somebody across the street already, they're still bound by the rules.
And this is something when notice goes out?
Yes.
So that people would, okay.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay.
People all get notice on that.
Okay.
But like you gotta be 100 foot from a resident. I just had one, like, they just opened up a little barbecue place, and in order to sell beer and stuff, he was 5 foot from the thing, so he had to get a.
Any other discussion before we move to a vote? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question,
Okay.
and it's on this because I'm trying to think what I have done in other committees, so you may just have to let me know what the rule is. If someone is in a committee meeting, is not in a committee meeting, because I've been in ones where folks have signed on so that they can talk about it. If the person who is on this is not on there at all, do we vote on it or do we defer it? If they're not here
Well, they deferred mine,
at all.
I know, one time, because I wasn't present.
Because
The sponsor.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at the.
Give me 1 second. There is a rule on this.
I think the lead sponsor does have to be there.
I think so. I was thinking the
I've
lead
seen that
sponsor.
happen
We talked about this on something else, didn't we?
Yeah.
The lead sponsor is supposed to be here. Who's the lead? Is it Parker? I haven't seen him tonight.
Yeah, there is no letter, is there?
This
I'm
is
sorry.
Rule 33.2 in part says, "No action may be taken on any ordinance or resolution at any meeting of a committee of the council to which such ordinance or resolution has been referred, unless a sponsor is present or a sponsor has informed the chair of the committee in writing of the action that should be taken."
So like, could I sign on to this?
You could sign on.
Okay, I can sign on to this then.
Okay, so then you can sign on and then you can move this?
And then you can explain it.
And the other option too is to roll it to the heel, take the other item, and see if the sponsor shows up and we can go look for him.
Because I did have, before she asked that, I was going to move to defer at one meeting,
I second.
since he wasn't here.
Okay?
Or I'd be okay too, I could ask you if you wanted to roll it to the heel, to see if somebody can get him by the time we do the other one.
Why don't we do that?
Okay, I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that, if everybody's okay with that. We'll move on.
Yeah, but I'll still sign on to it because it is, since it's been noticed as the public hearing.
Yeah, I agree. If we can straighten it out at the meeting.
Yeah, because
Okay, so it's going to the heel now, and we're going to the next one.
So now we're going to move to number 2, late filed resolution, Porterfield and Toombs, resolution accepting a grant for
Oh, I'm sorry, I was just, I was talking out loud. I wasn't stopping you.
I'm so sorry.
I was
Okay.
going.
Resolution, a grant for Tennessee Department of Economic and Government for Metro Government acting through Information Technology Services Department to provide services relating to broadband connected community facilities program.
I think we have to wait for her to get back.
And
And she's probably going to.
I have a letter to approve from Toombs.
Oh, okay.
I think we have to wait for Hannah to come back because I think we need legal counsel in here for all
Yes,
this stuff.
I believe you're correct.
So let's play canasta. Anybody know how?
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
It's not canasta, is it?
That's
Rock,
right.
paper,
Rock, paper,
scissors.
scissors. You know how to play rock, paper, scissors?
But she said canasta.
know how to play
It's a
canasta.
card game, I think. I don't know how to play
It
it.
is. Okay, then.
Do you have anything you wanted to add?
Well, I thought rock, paper, scissors was like on 3.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
What are you here for?
The CCF late file.
Okay.
We can't legally talk.
I know we can't legally talk. Like if I was wondering, I didn't see her, so I'm like, okay, what are you
We
doing?
can figure out about canasta.
How about them Preds?
There we go. All right.
Okay, now we can do
Dispense
this.
with the other item?
No, we thought you
No,
went
we're
to
waiting
We
for
thought you
you.
went to get Parker, and we
Well-
waited on you to get.
or
back.
Porterfield or
So
somebody on
we're
this
still
one.
waiting, so Mr. Dodd was able to get him by phone, and so I think that he might send in something in writing. But if you want to move on with the other item, and then we can wait and
We
see if
don't
we
have
get
any of the
something.
sponsors for the other item either.
No, we have a
Oh,
letter. We have a letter.
Yes, I have a,
You should have a letter from,
Okay, okay.
right, Councilmember Toombs.
Yeah, I've got it
And
here.
unfortunately, I don't know that the,
No, she said Toombs.
right.
Porterfield.
Councilmember Toombs has signed on, but she's on after
Things printed.
your item.
Right,
Okay,
and I
that's
have,
fine.
I have a letter here from her.
Sorry.
Okay.
So shall we move on?
Correct. We shall.
So, all right, so we have the late filed resolution here, and then we have a letter for approval from Councilmember Toombs.
What
And
does it
then,
say? Oh, no, ma'am, go on.
think
There's that discussion.
so,
Okay.
well, we need somebody to move.
Move it.
Okay, second.
Properly moved, properly second, open for discussion.
Would you read the letter?
It just says to approve.
That's all?
I am the sponsor of the above referenced legislation of the committee's agenda November 19, 2024. I am unable to attend this meeting. I am asking the above legislation to be approved.
Okay.
Wow.
I still, what is this about?
This, I would defer to.
Yes, that's what I was going to ask. If
You have a
you could
representative
explain
from
what
ITS.
this
Y'all gotta ask
is.
it
Oh,
through the chair.
okay.
Y'all gotta
That's
ask
what
it through
you
the
said.
chair, and then the chair
Okay,
asks.
all right.
Hi,
Thank you.
everybody. I'm Pearl Amantu. I'm the Digital Inclusion Officer for Metro Nashville and Davidson County. We were awarded a Connected Community Facilities grant from the state ECD broadband office in May. Well, it announced in March, and then we were formally awarded in May, but it took them 5 months to get the contracts out. This is the first grant of its type for them and for us, and everybody was patient with everyone else. We received a draft copy in October, but there was a lot of work that needed to be done on it. So when we received the corrected version, I think it was like a third or fourth round, we just wanted to rush and get it through, because while architecture and design was allowable once we got our notice to proceed, there are parts of our construction that are on hold until approved, and they're at risk of falling out of the timeline.
Timeline issues. Madam Chair,
Okay.
I'd like to remind us, and I'm sorry, I know I came in late.
I'm
and
so
I know
sorry.
we're
Can you
not-
please repeat that?
Yes, I wanted to remind us, and I'm sorry, I know I came in later, and I know this might be, I just want to remind us that when things come up, we're supposed to go through you, and then you contact other folks instead of us looking around to see who was in the room that we can ask questions of. I just want us to kind of, as a committee, just remember how things go.
Okay. I greatly appreciate your input on that, and I will do better. Okay, any other discussion on this matter? Move for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any not voting? 6, 7, 8. So 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. And then we're back to,
The beer permit resolution.
thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
So I have forwarded to the chair a letter from the sponsor requesting approval. So I will send it to you. Please inform Chair Hill that I would like for the committee to approve the item GovOps, the beer distance waiver.
Okay.
So now 33.2 has been met.
Right. So now we're back to any other discussion on item 1. Yes, ma'am.
So I guess that letter just says to approve, just please approve. Is that pretty much the content of the letter?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And Madam Chair, and we're assuming this is because this is an area where beer or whatever is served anyway. Is that what we were saying, a commercial?
No, I don't know that was ever discussed of if there's beer there or not. I think this is to approve beer permit for this location because it's within the minimum standards of 100 feet of whatever the permitted location is.
Oh, because it is in compliance.
No, it's not in compliance. We're here to approve to waive the 100-foot distance.
To allow them to have a beer permit.
This may be helpful to add. These can only be introduced with the approval of the sponsor. So usually if they're on the agenda, that means that the sponsor, is aware of this particular project and is intentionally moving this beer waiver forward.
Yeah, it can't just show up. Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chair, I'm going to vote no on this.
Okay.
Not because I don't want it, but because I'm having a problem with not knowing why, and we were guessing why. And I'm having a problem with the sponsor not saying anything. So I guess we will hear in there, because the sponsor's going to be here, but just for this, to just have somebody text somebody and then say, okay, here's a letter, please approve, I have a problem with that. So I just want to let you know why I was going to vote no on this in
Okay.
here. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything in the analysis that tells us the exact?
Let me double check, but I do not believe that it does have the exact reason why it is before.
That said, I'll be voting for it because I think we can clear up any questions we might have. And there is a public hearing, so there are people going to be coming down here potentially.
Right.
I don't want to have to put them off. And we can get all, very easily answered those questions, Mr. Parker, when he's here.
I agree.
So this is going to go to the floor, so it'll be
So,
discussed.
yes.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Can this be deferred on the floor and still be okay to be passed later?
If you defer
It can be
in
deferred
committee,
in here.
if you defer in committee, it will be automatically deferred on the floor.
Not here.
Tonight,
floor.
so what could be done is, usually what would happen is the public hearing would be held and then it could be deferred.
Okay.
It could be deferred before the public hearing is held, but
Sponsor can defer it at any
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to explain myself for the viewing audience, I guess.
And
I'm going to vote against, not because, I respect Mr. Parker, and I know he probably has a great explanation. I just don't want to get in the habit of just voting for things that are against, I guess, public policy or whatever. I know these rules and regulations are put there for a reason, and I don't want to start just saying, oh, if so-and-so said it's got to be okay. I would, and he probably has a great reason, and if it's something like, oh, that whole area is commercial anyway, or whatever, but it may not be. I don't know. I just want to know the reason, and I don't want to just start saying for everything. So I'm against as well, and I just want to state
Okay.
that.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to vote for it in committee so we can get it to the floor. And then everything may be revealed on the floor and that we don't have to kill it. And that way we can have a chance to move it forward with maybe more information. And maybe he shows up or we get the information that we need. And then if nothing else, defer it.
And I saw that, this is really quite typical of this kind of bill, happens all the time. And
And if I may respond.
But often the sponsor is here to answer some of the
Yeah, I just don't want to get in the routine of what's typically done, and then I do something that I regret later. I just rather.
You sure you want to run this?
you can rationalize your
Right.
comments.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I'm against.
Okay, any other discussion?
No.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oh, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in favor. All those against?
Against.
2. And then any not voting. Okay. That's all we've got. We're adjourned. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll
Thank
see you in the big room.
Great job herding the cats tonight.
Thank you, Matt.